What is the Trump administration up to now? We're diving into a shocking request from the Department of Justice for Washington state's voter registration data. This is a developing story you need to hear. Then, we head to the nation's capital, where D.C. residents are sharing their experiences as a major law enforcement surge comes to an end. Did it work? They're telling us firsthand. Next, a U.S. diplomat expresses deep regret over an immigration raid that detained hundreds of South Korean workers, and Seoul says this could be a turning point for relations. And finally, as tensions rise with the U.S., Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is urging citizens to join a civilian militia. We've got all the details. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Trump's DOJ wants your voter data. President Donald Trump's Department of Justice has made a sweeping request for sensitive voter registration information from Washington state, sparking immediate concern and questions from state officials. Secretary of State Steve Hobbs confirmed that the DOJ is seeking full names, birthdays, driver's license information, and the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers from the state's voter rolls. Hobbs expressed that he has more questions than answers, particularly regarding the DOJ's stated reasons for the request, which have been ambiguously linked to immigration concerns and maintaining database integrity. He stressed that Washington's elections are secure, highlighting the state's participation in the ERIC system, cross-referencing with other databases, and rigorous signature verification for its robust vote-by-mail system, which Trump has previously criticized. The DOJ has given Washington a 14-day deadline, but Hobbs is holding firm, refusing to release the data until he receives clear answers about its intended use, noting that at least 22 other states have received similar requests. This move comes as Washington, a vote-by-mail state, faces scrutiny over its election processes. The request has ignited a firestorm online, with many questioning the federal government's motives and the potential implications for voter privacy. Analysts are watching closely to see if this is a coordinated effort across multiple states. But what does this mean for election security nationwide? Stay tuned, because we're also breaking down why D.C. residents are finally breathing a sigh of relief after a massive law enforcement surge. D.C. crime surge over, residents speak out. After a significant law enforcement surge aimed at curbing crime in Washington, D.C. has concluded, residents are sharing their experiences and reactions to the intense security measures. President Donald Trump announced the plan, which included deploying increased officers and the National Guard to the nation's capital, on August 11th. While many residents acknowledged that something needed to be done to address rising crime rates, some questioned the timing and duration of the surge. Linda, a local store employee, noted a stark drop in homicides during the initial 12 days of the surge, suggesting it should have been extended if it was effective. However, the increased police presence also had an unintended consequence for local businesses, with restaurateurs reporting a significant downturn in customers during the 30-day emergency declaration. Now that the surge has ended, residents are expressing a sense of relief, with some saying they can finally go out and enjoy life again, returning to their social routines after feeling confined during the heightened security period. The community is divided, with some praising the temporary dip in crime and others lamenting the impact on daily life and business. Could this surge be a blueprint for other cities facing crime waves? We're also tracking a delicate diplomatic situation involving a U.S. diplomat's apology to South Korea. U.S. diplomat apologizes for immigration raid on Korean workers. A high-ranking U.S. diplomat has formally expressed deep regret over a recent immigration raid that led to the detention of hundreds of South Korean workers in Georgia, with South Korea viewing the incident as a potential turning point to strengthen bilateral ties. First Vice Foreign Minister Park Yoon-ju met with Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau in Seoul, urging him to advance discussions on follow-up measures, including the creation of a new visa category. The raid, which occurred at a Hyundai motor battery plant, sent shockwaves through South Korea, a crucial U.S. ally, as approximately 300 South Korean workers were detained before eventually returning home. Deputy Secretary Landau conveyed President Donald Trump's significant interest in the case and proposed using the regrettable incident as an opportunity to improve systems and bolster the South Korea-U.S. relationship. Seoul has requested clearer guidelines for existing business visas and the establishment of a new visa category to support substantial investments by Korean businesses in the U.S., aiming to prevent similar occurrences. Landau emphasized the need for swift working-level consultations to ensure visa issuance aligns with the contributions of Korean workers, noting their role in revitalizing U.S. manufacturing. This apology marks a significant moment in diplomatic relations, with both sides seeking to move forward constructively. But will this diplomatic overture ease tensions in another volatile region? We're heading to Venezuela next, where President Maduro is calling citizens to arms. Maduro rallies Venezuelan militia amidst U.S. tensions. As tensions between Venezuela and the United States escalate, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is urging citizens to enlist in the Bolivarian militia, a civilian corps, in a move to safeguard sovereignty. This call to arms comes after Venezuela accused the U.S. Navy of illegally raiding a tuna fishing boat within its territorial waters, labeling the act as hostile. This incident follows a prior U.S. strike that resulted in the deaths of 11 individuals aboard a Venezuelan boat, which U.S. officials identified as being involved in drug trafficking. The Bolivarian militia, which boasts over 300 barracks nationwide, is actively training civilians in firearms, signaling a heightened state of readiness. Maduro's appeal aims to bolster national defense and rally public support amidst increasing pressure from the United States. The situation remains tense, with both nations engaged in a war of words and military posturing. And that's just a taste of the global headlines we're covering today. Don't go anywhere, we've got a jam-packed wrap-up coming right after this. All right, FlickPop fam, let's do a lightning round recap. The DOJ is asking for Washington's voter data, D.C. residents are reacting to the end of a major crime surge, a U.S. diplomat apologized for a raid on Korean workers, and Venezuela's Maduro is calling citizens to join the militia amid rising U.S. tensions. That was a lot. If you want to stay on top of all the biggest stories, make sure you like this video, subscribe to FlickPop for more, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below telling us what you think about these headlines, and follow us on all our socials for even more exclusive content.